Eccoci, buon pomeriggio a tutti e buon pomeriggio a tutte, benvenuti e benvenute in questo appuntamento del ciclo Insegnare Inglese, il primo di questo nuovo anno scolastico per voi docenti della scuola secondaria di primo grado. Questo appuntamento in particolare abbiamo deciso di iniziare con un appuntamento dedicato al nostro corso di SISMI, quindi diciamo che è pensato per tutti i docenti che hanno in adozione il testo per quest'anno scolastico, ma anche per tutti coloro che hanno voglia di scoprire qualcosa in più sul nostro corso, sulla struttura e su tutte le sue potenzialità digitali e didattiche. Per cui io, prima di presentarvi i relatori di oggi, vi rubo solamente velocissimamente un minuto per darvi le indicazioni di carattere tecnico e organizzativo, per cui come sempre vi raccomandiamo di trovare un posto tranquillo e di informare chi avete vicino che sarete impegnati o impegnate in questa chiacchierata che durerà all'incirca un'ora, di tenere a portata di mano tutto quello che pensate possa servirvi nel tempo che trascorreremo assieme per evitare di allontanarvi dal dispositivo con il quale siete connessi oggi, di utilizzare delle cuffie e delle auricolari per migliorare la qualità audio e in generale verificare la vostra connessione, magari interrompendo i download e spegnendo tutte quelle applicazioni che in questo momento non state utilizzando. Ed infine, l'ultima raccomandazione ovviamente è quella di partecipare, quindi avete la possibilità di porre tutte le vostre domande, i vostri dubbi all'interno del box domande e risposta che si trova in basso nell'interfaccia Zoom e che è contrassegnato dall'icona di un fumetto con all'interno un punto di domanda. Dedicheremo infatti l'ultima parte del nostro incontro a leggervi e a rispondere insieme ai nostri relatori, che vi presento subito. Con noi oggi pomeriggio ci sono Carl Matthews e Roy Bennett, che sono i nostri IRT consultant. Benvenuti, buon pomeriggio.
Buon pomeriggio a tutti e grazie per essere qua.
Buon pomeriggio, good afternoon to all of you.
Benissimo, allora, siccome i nostri ILT in questo momento sono in giro per le scuole in tutta Italia, abbiamo deciso per ragioni organizzative e tecniche di registrare l'appuntamento di oggi. Quindi adesso io avvio la mia condivisione, però ci ritroviamo tutti assieme per lo spazio domande finale. Quindi condivido il mio schermo, eccoci, e auguro un buon webinar a tutti e a tutte. A dopo.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar, where we will be discussing This Is Me, our Scuola Media course. My name is Roy Bennett. I'm one of the educational consultant team, and I'm joined with my colleague, Carl.
Okay, pleased to meet you.
And so let's get started straight away. As you can see, these are the 3 volumes of the course, This Is Me, which you should already have. So this session is designed for teachers who have perhaps adopted this course, and it's also designed for teachers who have perhaps arrived at a new school. You found this course, you don't know a great deal about it, and you want to find out a little bit more. You may be here also because you're interested in finding out more about This Is Me. If so, welcome. We hope you find that this session informative. So let's have a look at what we will be speaking about in today's session. So I will begin by giving you an overview of the teacher resources that you should have. And also we look at how the course is structured, which I think is very important. Then I'll be passing you over to Carl, who will be giving you some details about the Hub Scuola platform, and also the ebook and the all-important Chiavetta USB. And then we will end the session by looking at another very, very important component, the teacher and the test books as well. Okay, so let's begin. So first of all, you can see a checklist of materials that you should have. If you're missing any of this material, please get in touch with your local agent and they will be happy to provide you with any components that you may be missing. So if we look briefly at the list, you can see we have the teacher's book. We also have a separate test book where you'll find all of the tests in photocopiable form. We have a very, very handy quick tests book, which contains tests that are ideal for the beginning of the year. You can mark these tests very quickly with the Lucidi, which are included. And a very new component that we have this year is the grammar cards kit, which we'll look at in a little bit more detail later on. We have a very nice resource here called Engage Your Class with a lot of photocopyable activities. Please contact your agent again if you haven't received this yet. And finally, the Chiavetta USB and the Easy ebook as well. So those are the components that you should have. If you don't have any of these things, please get in touch with your agent and they will be happy to provide you with everything that you need. Okay, so let's have a look at the course itself. How is This Is Me structured? Well, in volumes 1 and 2, you will find there are 8 units. I've chosen for this demonstration Unit 4 from volume 1. And each unit begins with an introductory page, which introduces the topic of the unit to the students. The idea is that we generate interest in the topic, we find out what they already know about the topic, and perhaps they discover that they already know some vocabulary. So this can be very motivating for the students. On this particular page, we introduce the topic in a number of ways. First of all, you'll see at the top of the page, we have a proverb, which is related to the topic. In this case, don't go around the houses. So this can be an interesting way to introduce the argument to our students. You'll also find various exercises and also a couple of videos. One on the topic of houses, as you can see, and another orientation video, which introduces our 2 tutors, Jake and Amy, who will expand on the topic and express their own views and their own experiences about the topic. So this is a nice way of creating empathy with our own students. So once we've generated interest in the topic, we can move on to the dialogue, which starts each unit. As you can see there, we have the dialogue on the left with the various comprehension exercises. Something else that I should point out to you here is at the bottom right-hand corner, you can see there's an extra video, and you can see our tutors, Jake and Amy again, and they introduce a very important critical thinking element. So they look at the video, they discuss what's happening, and they express their opinions. And this is very important to help our own students develop their critical thinking skills. Critical thinking, as we know, is very important in terms of life skills, in terms of orientation. So we're looking at developing this from the first year of Scuola Media. So what comes next? Well, we have our vocabulary pages. You can see we have a number of exercises. I won't talk in great depth about this, but 2 things that I think we should discuss is that you can see that the exercises are graded according to level of difficulty. So 1 star, 2 stars, or 3 stars. This can be very useful in the classroom. You will find this in your workbook as well, but particularly in the classroom, we know which exercises are suitable for which students. We can assign the more complex exercises, the more challenging exercises to perhaps our most advanced students. And on the right-hand side of the page, we can see some tips as well, relating to culture and to the Lexis itself as well. So these are very useful points that we can add into our lesson as well. So moving on from our vocabulary, we now have 3 pages of grammar. These are pages 1 and 2. You can see every grammar topic is discussed, is demonstrated or presented with a grammar table accompanied by videos, which Carl will be discussing in more depth later. and various exercises as well. You can see, for example, on the right as well, there's also a dialogue which incorporates some of the grammar structures into the exercise. This is the third page of grammar, which ends with a sum it up section where we can work on all of the structures that we've studied in this particular unit altogether. At the end of the grammar section, another innovative characteristic of this book is the check your progress section. So we give the students an opportunity to take a little bit of responsibility for their learning. They look at the grammar and the vocabulary that they've studied, and they complete the test, and then we give them the opportunity to self-evaluate. And on the basis of their score, they can then either do some consolidation work to strengthen what they've done, or our stronger students can do some extra extension work as well. We'll find this extra material in the workbook, and we'll see this in just a second. Next, we move on to our functions and oral competences. So again, we see the characters from our videos that we met in the dialogue, and they introduce functional language in each unit. In this case, we have describing your home. There are a number of exercises, as you can see, which are signposted also for Invalsi and Esame di Stato. So this can be very useful in preparation for these particular exams. There's also a section on social emotional learning, which is something else that we have to concentrate on this year as well. So this gives our students an opportunity to reflect on their own lives, their own opinions, and this is all related back to the functional language that we introduce in the video. On the right-hand side of the page, we have the section dedicated to listening and speaking skills as well. And this is very useful because the listening in particular introduces some different accents from around the world. As you know, in Invalsi and different high-stakes examinations, students will hear not just received pronunciation, they'll hear a lot of different accents. So this is exposing them to these different types of accents that they'll need to be good speakers of English. Next, we move on to culture and written competences. So you can see that we're dealing here with writing and reading. You can see that on the left-hand side of the page, we've gone back to the topic of the unit, which is houses, and we're approaching it from a few different points of view, which we think will be of interest to our students. There's also a step-by-step writing section on the right-hand side of the page, which guides our students through the writing process step by step. So this is ideal for mixed ability classes. Finally, in the body of the unit, we have the last page is dedicated to orientation. As we know, the ministry guidelines state that we have to start working on orientation right from the first year of Scuola Media. So this introduces orientation from a very basic personalized level where we get our students to reflect on their own lives, their own environments, and their own interests as well. As we move into the second and third volume, we start talking more about future career choices, future study choices. Next up, we have, after every 2 units, we have 4 pages, which I will describe now. First of all, we have the timeless culture section. Again, we are talking about the topic of homes, in particular, the types of homes that you will find in Britain. We then move on to a section which is dedicated to citizenship and CLIL. And this introduces some critical thinking aspects as well. You can see there are critical thinking routines incorporated into this section. We look here at the topic of the family. So please note as well that we discuss all of these topics from a very current point of view. We're not just discussing the typical nuclear family that we see in a lot of course books. We're discussing the types of families that our students perhaps live in, the types of families that they will encounter on a day-to-day basis. So this is a very, very up-to-date in terms of the methodology and the content. And finally, in this section, we have a listening section as well, okay? Again, a step-by-step introduction to listening, with tips as well to help our students become more competent listeners and provide them with strategies that they need to tackle listening exercises. This takes us to the workbook. The first spread of the workbook is dedicated to vocabulary. You'll notice it is colorful, lots of exercises on the page, and a full vocabulary list for that particular unit, which can be very useful. We then have the grammar sections, which are again graded according to level of difficulty. Each grammar structure is dealt with a grammar table. You can see there are color-coded explanations and accompanying exercises and tips. And at the end of the section, we also have a sum it up section, so we can put everything together that we've learned. Next, we have the consolidation and extension sections that I mentioned earlier. If you recall, we talked about the self-evaluation. This is where our students would go then to either consolidate or extend on their knowledge. Of course, it's up to you as the teacher. You can decide when or if to assign these exercises or sections to our students. Finally, we have the functions and oral competences. So we have extra work on functions and oral competences, and also on the culture and written competences as well. So the workbook covers all of the key points that we'll find in the main body of the student's book as well. After every 2 units, you will find an in-depth revision section. So you can see this is after Unit 4. We have the revision for Units 3 to 4. Plus, at the end, the cumulative revision section, which covers everything that the students have covered right from the beginning of the book, so from Unit 1. So we're continually recycling the language and revising as we're going along. And this brings me to the banks and the various extra materials that we find at the back of the book. First of all, we have the pronunciation bank, which covers the key pronunciation difficulties that Italian students of English often encounter. So we cover 1 or more sounds for each unit. Then we have our section dedicated to festivals. In this case, you can see Halloween, a very popular festival in Italy now. Next, we have our word banks. For every book, we can consolidate our lexical knowledge by doing further exercises in the word bank. So 1 word bank per unit. We also have a functions bank, which is a collection of all the functional language that we've looked at through the course of the book. This is fantastic for reference work. And we also have a speaking bank as well, which provides extra activities related to the activities that we find in the singular units as well. Great for extra practice. We also have some compiti di realtà, so 1 for units 1 to 4, another for units 5 to 8, and of course the all-important extra grammar practice. We can never have too much grammar, so we've put some more grammar in the back for you as well. To round things off, we have our verb tables and a comprehensive glossary or word list at the back of the book as well. So just to remind you, we have a word list for each unit, but also a glossary that you can search alphabetically as well. And last but not least, a map of the United Kingdom, which you can find at the back of the book, which is always useful for working on aspects of culture as well. So that is an overview of the course book. Right at the back of each volume as well, we have an extra section which is dedicated to a particular city. In volume 1, you'll find this fold-out section on the City of London, which introduces our students to the city, the things that they can see if they visit the city. This is ideal for holiday homework. In volume 2, you'll find a section dedicated to Dublin, and in volume 3, you will find a section dedicated to New York. Okay, so at this point, I'll hand you over to Carl, who will provide you with some more information about all of the digital resources that you can find on Hub Scuola. Over to you, Carl.
Roy's been through the paper version of the volume. You've seen the structures there. I'm going to have a look at the digital for you. I'm going to have a look at the e-book, and I'm also going to have a look at the Sito del Libro, which is where you will find, as a teacher, all the materials dedicated to testing, the audios for the tests, as well as extra material, extra links, and extra resources. When you access for the first time the website, you will find yourself on Hub Scuola. You'll have your name up there on the left. And there's a column with a number of items, which I think it's important to look at straight away. Also to help you maximize your time on the website, not to waste time. This is a standard interface for all the courses and all the subjects for teachers on Hub Scuola. Therefore, for certain areas, certain subjects, they will have an area docente. Okay, this is not currently available for English teachers. That is a work in progress. Below that, you will find the two items, Hub Test and Hub Invalsi. In this particular moment, you have a lot of resources available for Invalsi. Okay, whereas for Hub Test, we are currently populating that area with a number of exercises. That will be up and running probably later in the autumn. Okay, so for the moment, I would advise you to stick with the volumes we're going to look at today. In Hub Test, in any case, you will not find the test material for your course. Okay, you will not find your verifiche in that section of Hub Text. I will be showing you clearly where you can go to find the test material later as we go through the slides here. Okay, so I'm going to move on. Okay, you'll see now that on this opening page, you have your three volumes there. There's a single card, as we call it. And on this card, you have all the materials for your course. Okay, so we've grouped them all together. Okay, and when we click on this particular card, you will see that all your volumes appear along the top there in a kind of Netflix type visual. Okay, so you've got the 3 volumes of the course, and then the 3 volumes of For Everyone. You should also have 2 volumes, one It's Easy and one for Culture. You as a teacher have access to these. And you'll see below that automatically, where This Is Me, volume 1 appears, there's a little dark line underneath the volume, and below that, Students Book 1, and then a section dedicated to HubKit. I'll be explaining a little bit more about the HubKit area, but this is where you will find all the contenuti, the risorse digitale for your book. Later in the presentation, we'll be looking at how you can access your test material from that particular area, as well as finding the test material through your actual ebook. We're going to start then with the ebook. I'm going to click on Students Book. Okay, and this is the first interface that you will see when you open your digital book. Okay, so there we've got the copertina, the cover of This Is Me. Just a note here, the next time you go into your course and you access Hub Scuola, you will be taken automatically to the page which you left. So if, for example, you're working through Unit 2 and you're halfway through, when you exit the website, the next time you go in, you will find yourself on the page that you left. And this is extremely useful. It's a big time saver. You don't have to mess around looking again for the pages. Two other things of note here. One I've written on the side because, along with my colleagues Roy and Mike, we've often received phone calls from both our agents and also from teachers saying that they've lost the icons for the interactive activities. We've discovered that this is a result of teachers enlarging the pages of the book using Google, using their Zoom options on their PC. So I would encourage you to enlarge the pages of the book using those two little buttons at the bottom, the green ones, you can see them there, the plus and the minus sign. They will help you to enlarge the pages of the book without losing the interactivity. Next to those, right down in the right-hand corner, there is also a magnifying glass. With the magnifying glass, you can enlarge a particular part of the page and use it as a kind of screen capture tool. So you can focus even more specifically on a part of the page that you want to look at. Okay. In order to move through the book, you'll see that there on the right-hand side of the page, there's a little arrow. Okay, that is for scrolling through the pages. If you want to go to a specific page, you can put the number of that page in the top left-hand corner. Or, as I prefer to do, go to the index, which I'm going to show you now, the index page, which is directly above the cover. And this will then open your book in this particular way and allow you then to scroll through the units, go to find the unit that you want to go to, and then the page that you want to do as well. So we're going to click on Unit 4. That's the one which Roy has chosen for us. So I'm going to click on there. And this is the dialogue page from Unit 4. As you can see, very, very rich. And you'll see that in various parts of the page there, you've got these black icons. Now, it may be difficult to actually see them. I've enlarged something on the right-hand side of the page there. Okay, you have the audio track icon. You have a pen icon, which is for interactive exercises. So basically, any exercise that has closed answers will be interactive. Okay. And then you have an icon also for videos. Okay, and we'll look at that in a moment. Okay. All of the exercises, the videos and the audios, which you will see, which are indicated by these icons, are shareable. That means that you can share them in Classroom, you can share them in Teams, or you can simply copy the link and share them with your students also in the Registro Elettronico, if you prefer to do things that way. We're going to have a look now at what or how an interactive exercise appears. Okay, these are those closed exercises I mentioned before. Okay. When you open the exercise, you as a teacher will have these three particular possibilities below. You'll be able to confirm the exercise if you're doing it together with the students. You've also got options for seeing all of the solutions at the same time. Okay. And you've also got an option for soluzione a step, which means that you can show the solutions to the exercise one by one. Okay. Other things to mention here, I've opened in the settings, the impostazioni, the possibility to show you there that you can enlarge the size of the font. So you can make it bigger if you have students at the back of the class. You can change the font into an easy reading and also a capital letters font as well. There's also an important thing, which unfortunately by opening the impostazione I've covered. With some exercises you can actually change the layout of the page. So if there's a video, you can put the video to one side and have the exercises on the side of the page or below. Okay? So you've got a lot of flexibility also within the exercise there. And as you can see in the top right of that screen, okay, condividi. I've then enlarged it so you can see what the icon is. And you can share all of the exercises and basically all of the materials, okay, through this particular function. So you'll need to open the video, open the audio, open the exercise, and then from there you can share it into your chosen route, which may be Classroom and it may be Teams. Okay. A quick mention, Roy took us before through the grammar pages. One thing of mention here for This Is Me. This Is Me gives you access to our platform, Deaflix. Deaflix contains some 80 grammar pathways and some 25 vocabulary pathways. These have been studied for self-study. They've been created for self-study. So students can access them also independently. You can also advise students who are maybe a little weaker or need a little bit more practice to go and have a look at these on their own. You can do them in class together. And here on this particular screen, you'll see that there's also a link which you can click on and you can go and sample for yourself the percorso. The grammar percorsi are around about 15 to 20 minutes of material, including videos, exercises, and there's also our tutor, Will, who will answer questions to students and also correct them when they're wrong. So that's a very, very valuable tool for students to study also. And often teachers have told us they use it in the recupero, where, for example, they've had to sort of revise a number of things. But I say they're available to both teachers and students independently. In order to access the full percorso, we would advise you to click on the X, the yellow X there, and that will take you into either the grammar or the vocabulary pathways. And here is what will appear in miniature. The Inglese Grammatica will give you 80 cards, basically, from which you can enter. The Inglese Lessico in this moment numbers 25 particular percorsi. For teachers, you will also have access to Google Moduli for verifiche. So if you want, for example, to ask your students to do a particular percorso and then test them on their competences afterwards, you can access the Google Moduli. You make yourself a copy. And again, you can share that either directly into Classroom or through the link with your preferred channel. Okay. So we're going to move on from there and have a look at the video functions. Roy took us to this page earlier. He mentioned that on this particular page there are two videos. There's the dialogue video and also the critical thinking video. So I'm just going to open up here the dialogue video, because what you will find at the bottom right corner there is true to all of the video dialogues. So the functions videos, the critical thinking videos, and the dialogue videos. You've got various instruments, various functions, which you can add in to enrich your lesson. You've got a straightforward CC, which is your subtitles. So you can open up the subtitles or close them as you prefer. Next to the CC, we have a text function, and that will open the full dialogue text. So that's the one that we're seeing at the moment on the right-hand side of the screen. There's also, as you can see, some of the text is highlighted in red. That is because this text also carries a karaoke function. So when the students are watching the dialogue here, it will light up and show them exactly where they are. And a nice function here, if you click on this text, the video itself will move to where you want to be during the video. Final thing to mention here about the particular possibilities is that you can switch off or you can silence various characters, or you can make their text disappear, and this allows you to also do a role play function with the students in the classroom. I'm going to move forward again from here As I said, all the videos, the audio tracks and interactive exercise are shareable. I can't stress this enough. And when you click on that share option, the condividi, you will be taken to this particular interface, which will then allow you to go forward with, as I say, your choice of channel. Okay, so let's go back to the sito del libro, where we began. As I said, all your digital materials in one place. We've accessed the student's book, the ebook from there. I'm now going to show you how you can access your teacher materials. Very, very important, very straightforward. And I must say a big thanks to the digital department of Dea Scuola for rendering these particular steps much, much more simple than they used to be. Okay, so you'll find that, again, leaving from this particular page, you'll see below there is a section called HubKit, where you can see that orange icon. I'm going to click on there, just to highlight how straightforward it is for you to find your materials. Okay, so clicking on the HubKit icon. So here we are on the page This Is Me, Students Book 1. Contenuti digitali integrativi, and a word of advice here. I would encourage you to go directly to Risorse per il docente and click on the plus sign. I would avoid the Espandi Tutto button because you will find hundreds and hundreds of resources if you click there. Clicking on the plus button, you will simply be taken to this breakdown, where you find your teacher resources, the Programmazione, Test Maker in Word, all your editable tests are there, and the test audio, as well as the quick tests in Google Moduli. Now, Roy spoke before about the small volume of test a crocette with the lucidi per la correzione. Here you have a Google Moduli version of this, and again, you can make a copy and share that with your students. One thing myself and my colleagues have found, though, is that teachers are often asking us where they can find the audio tracks for the tests. You'll see there's a voce of test audio. I'm going to click on that, and you will see that there you can either download the whole file of your MP3s there, or you can listen to those test audio one by one. This again, you can download them therefore onto your devices. I would advise you simply to go the whole hog and take them all initially. So that is the way to access these particular materials. The second possibility, so the second way of accessing your teacher materials is the following. Before we looked at the ebook, you probably remember that page which Roy showed you for the vocabulary. Here on every single page of your ebook, next to the indice function at the top of the toolbar there, you will see HubKit. Clicking on HubKit there, slightly different presentation. But again, the same resources are present for you there. So you click on HubKit. You have 3 titles: Contenuti digitali, which are those of the ebook. You have Per il docente, which obviously needs no explanation. These are your teacher resources. And then finally, Risorse in Evidenza. Risorse in Evidenza are the same materials as the Contenuti digitali. So your videos, your audios, but divided into typology. So you've got all your videos together, all your audios together, all your exercises together, as well as various links to the DeaFlix platform. Again, we'll click on the test audio here and you will see, for example, the same interface. The test audios can be downloaded directly from here. Okay. So, take you forward from here onto the chiavetta USB. Okay, the USB key. How does it work and what does it contain? I think the most important thing to say is that it is very simply a traditional USB key which contains all the materials of the 3 ebook volumes. So volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, all the materials of the For Everyone volumes, as well as your teacher guides, the test book, and also all the materials in Word. So you can also download them from here directly. In order to use this key, you simply plug it in to your PC and launch it from there. One of the things here is obviously a number of PCs now don't contain the USB access port. So at that point, obviously we encourage you to use the app function. You can download the app of Hub Scuola directly onto a tablet or onto your interactive whiteboard or digital board using the app di letture, which you find on the opening page. One last thing which I forgot to mention, and I think is essential, is that your 3 volumes are completely speakerati. This means that wherever you click on any page of your ebook, you will hear the words spoken. This is something I forgot to mention earlier, but is a very, very key point, and I think we are the only course which offers this particular possibility. So all of the dialogues, all of the basically everything that appears on the page will be able to be listened to by your students. Okay, at this point I'm going to pass back to Roy, and he's just going to take you quickly through the paper versions of what we've talked about now, the teacher's book and the test book.
Thank you very much, Carl. So as you can see on the screen here, we have one of the resources that we mentioned earlier, which is our very handy grammar cards kit. This kit contains a number of different cards, each dedicated to different parts of speech. So this is a very useful tool that we can use for demonstrating grammar structures to our students in a very hands-on form. So this is a good alternative to the digital components that we talked about. We can help all learning styles to grasp the various grammar structures. All important as well, the teacher's book. Our teacher's book contains a number of resources. It contains several articles on very, very hot topics related to our ministry's guidelines as well. And in addition to that, obviously, we have all of the solutions to the exercises. We have teaching tips. We have sections dedicated to programmazione. So everything that you need can be found here in the teacher's book. So we'll look at this in a little bit more depth now. You can see the index section, and straight away we can see reference to several different articles. The first article we can see talks all about social emotional learning. And this article was written by a professor from the LUMSA University of Rome, Maurizio Gentile. Very interesting read. We also have sections dedicated to Educazione Civica, a very, very hot topic, which is artificial intelligence as well. And this article provides you with lots of advice on how and when to use this in and out of the classroom to help yourself and to help your students as well. You can also see there are sections dedicated to orientamento and also the Deaflix courses that Carl referred to before. Okay, so here we can see the lead-in pages to the sections on orientamento and also the programmazione per competenze as well. So we have one dedicated to each volume of This Is Me. This is the section dedicated to Deaflix. So here we have a more in-depth explanation of what Deaflix is, what it does, and how to use it. So we would advise you to take a close look also at that section to see how you can integrate Deaflix into your lessons. Here, this is the the bottom part of the index page, where we can see the more traditional, shall we say, aspects of the teacher's book, where we have the answer keys, the audio scripts, the teacher's notes, and extra activities. Again, we would recommend that you take a look at this, because this can provide you with lots of interesting insights on how to develop your lessons, how to make the lessons more engaging for your students as well. So you can also see there are the answer keys to the magazines that we looked at. We looked at in the student's book, we had the sections dedicated, if you remember, to London, to Dublin, etc. We also have the answer keys for the exams and the audio scripts as well. So everything you need can be found in this section. We also have a dedicated separate test book as well. So we have printable versions of the tests that can also be found online. This is very useful if you want to flick through and choose which test you will be doing in class. Here we have a complete list of all of the tests that we have available. You can see there are lots and lots of different types there. We also have the DSA tests, which we call Philaci, but also tests as well for exams such as Key, A2 Key, and also Trinity Grade 4 as well. So a wealth of tests for you to choose from in this section. Here's a more in-depth list, so you'll see for every volume, all of the tests are listed, so you can find them very, very easily. Finally, we'd like to say thank you very much for joining us today. We're sure that you'll have more questions, but please feel free to get in touch with us individually. You can see there is a link to our page where you'll find more details about myself, Carl, and our colleague, Mike. You'll see the areas of Italy that we cover and details of how to contact us if you want more information. So this brings us to the end of the session. So we'd like to leave some space for questions. So goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me. See you in a few minutes.
Benissimo, eccoci con lo spazio domande. Allora, vedo che sono arrivate un po' di domande per voi, quindi vi lascio rispondere.
Thank you. Okay. So, Carl, would you like to answer the question that we can see here about Dayaflix? You did mention that earlier in the session. Could you provide us with a little bit more information about that? And this question in particular is, can we see the exercises that our students complete in Dayaflix?
Okay. No, the answer to that, the simple answer to that is no. You as teachers will not be able to see what your students have actually answered unless they send you a screenshot of the autovalutazione test, which is at the end of the percorso. What you will have, though, it's something we added at the end of last year, is a test in Google Moduli. Okay, so for each percorso, okay, each of the 80 percorsi grammaticali and the 25 percorsi lessicali, you will have now a Google Modulo that you can copy, make a copy for yourself. And that's based on the things that the students have actually studied during the percorso. Okay, so you will be able then to give them a mini test there. Primarily, Elena, the answer why you can't see the answers that the students have done is because it's a platform for self-study. So we've tried to take the pressure off the students a little bit. They can go there, it's all in Italian, it's something they can study by themselves. But obviously we appreciated then that the teachers would want to know if the students had made progress during those things that they've been practicing. And we added the Google Moduli in afterwards. So the only way that a student could share what they've done with you would be to make a screenshot and share them one by one. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, thanks, Carl. And that is kind of related to what you've just spoken about as well. The next question I test in moduli sono disponibili per for every type of test, or just for some of them? Sorry for code switching in the middle of that sentence.
Right, okay. Again, okay, the test that we've done in Google Moduli, available with this is me, are available for the quick test formats. So these are basically test a crocetta with the lucidi for the correction. Each unit has fila A, fila B, and then the DSA version of the quick test. So you can have Moduli for these 3 tests. Okay, which you can download, make a copy of each. The other Google Moduli which we provide, as I said, there are the ones connected to Deoflix. The reason I imagine what Maria Luisa is asking is if the whole of the offerta of the assessment is available in Google Moduli. The answer there is no, because we've decided that Google Moduli is fairly limited, and I don't know if you agree with me on this, Roy. There are certain things that you can do with Google Moduli, but at a certain point, we like to give a lot of different exercises in the verifica.
Yeah, exactly. There are only certain question types that you can fit into a Google form. So that, as you say correctly, is the reason behind that.
Okay. But all of those tests will be available in Word. So if a teacher wanted to modify them, then you can go ahead and do that as well. Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Okay. If I can come back at you with a question.
Yeah, of course.
May I do that? So we got a question from Maria. She's asking about the page dedicated to pronunciation. Okay, is that the only part in the book that's dedicated to pronunciation, or if there's other stuff in the units itself based around pronunciation? Yeah.
Right. Well, what I will say about that particular page is that it has been designed to work on the phonemes or the points of pronunciation that native speakers of Italian have most problems with when they're learning English. So although it is quite a short section, it is very, very relevant to our students. So it deals with things like the th and the sounds, the schwa sound, which a lot of our students struggle with. So it's sort of very relevant as well to what is happening in the unit. So to answer your question, no, there aren't dedicated pronunciation exercises in the core of the units themselves, but you'll find that this pronunciation section is very, very useful and relevant to your students.
And I believe as well, another thing to mention there, Roy, is that there is a dictionary. There is a dictionary there, actually, that you can access from the bottom on the toolbar. That's available on every page. You can simply put in as well there, and it does have the pronunciation with the phonetic script underneath the word as well. Okay, so that is available also for the students. They will find that. Okay, I'm just going to grab this question off you, Roy, because I can actually answer it. Can you explain a little bit more in details how the Grammar Kit cards work here, please? Okay, Ariana, thanks for the question. Unfortunately, we've got no time to do that here, but what you will find when we send you the materials after the webinar, on the page which is dedicated to the Grammar Kit cards, you will find a link there which will take you to a very extensive explanation of how it's a sort of video, a tutorial about how you can get the most out of the grammar card skits. Okay, so you will find that we haven't abandoned you, but there simply wasn't time to put everything in to this particular webinar. As I say, you'll find a video presentation of it, and also we did actually have in April a webinar dedicated to the grammar cards kits, where the creator of the grammar cards actually spoke with one of our didactic experts as well. Okay, so you've got 2 possibilities there. You will receive this information after the webinar is finished with your other teacher materials. Okay.
Okay, perfect. And there is a question from Anna as well. Now, we aren't live at the moment, so what I can do, Anna, is I can contact you directly and explain how to do that. Basically, all we have to do is click on the note icon and then click on the page where we want to add it. If you're having an issue doing that, I can speak with you directly. I think that's the easiest way to handle it, if that's okay.
Roy, we've got a few more minutes. I just wanted
Yeah.
to show this directly to teachers.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It does exist. Now, I know a number of teachers have contacted us saying we're looking or we're waiting for the key. Okay, when will it arrive, etc. They are on their way to you. They've been delivered to the warehouse in Verona, and from that they're being shipped out. As we said actually in the presentation, this is the chiavetta. It will appear in its little box. So when you take this out, everything that I told you about before, you'll have your ebook volumes, etc., all offline. So you can then download things and then access directly to Deaflix and Hubtest through the links which are actually included in the key as well. So that's one of the things there. And if I might take advantage, Roy, there's just one thing that I forgot to mention during this webinar, which is very, very important. I'm going to hold up a very controversial item here.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we know that students cannot use this in the classroom at school, but okay, it is a very, very useful instrument for them, because we have an application called DeaLink, which I didn't mention during the actual session. DeaLink can be downloaded free of charge by the students. And this is an application which will allow students to basically inquadrare, non mi viene in inglese, okay, di inquadrare la pagina del libro, and they will from there be able to access all of the multimedia resources, so all the videos, all the listening, and also the Deaflix percorsi. They will be taken directly to that page should they choose to go there. The things that the students won't have through DeaLink are the interactive exercises. And I know some teachers have actually said to me, well, we prefer them to have DeaLink because we don't want them to be doing the exercises and then sort of seeing the solutions and things. So that's one option also to study. But we know you can't use that in the classroom, but it is a fantastic resource for students at home who maybe don't have the PC.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yeah.
All they need is the paper book, and they can go forward with that.
Okay, that's great. I think another thing to mention as well, Carl, is that you and I and our colleague Mike were at the Service of Teachers. If you have any issues, if you have any issues with the book, if you have any problems, any queries, you can get in touch with us. And how would teachers do that, Carl?
Well, you showed earlier there was the page, which is our consultants page as well. Or contact your local agent. I imagine if you've adopted the book, an agent will have come to see you. I may have come myself, Roy may have come, our colleague may also have met you. Please feel free to contact your local agent. He will then put you in touch with us or contact us directly. We can't wait to come and see you. That's the honest truth. There's nothing better for us than to be out and about in schools, meeting teachers, and also doing sessions with your kids. I mean, I generally do a lot of lessons with the prima classe, where the book's just been adopted. We go into the classroom in the morning, obviously with the teacher's permission, etc., and the teacher's blessing. We stay there together. We do an hour or two with the students, and just generally to get the students starting off on the right foot. Okay, so by all means, contact your local agent, and they will put you in touch with us directly, or we will contact you. It costs nothing. It's a free service. So if your dirigenti are worried about any expenses and stuff, we don't even drink coffee on occasion, so we're more than happy to come and see you.
Or we bring our own.
Or we bring our own. Okay. Roy, I'm looking at the clock. It's ticking down. I don't think there are any other questions there, but by all means, all the teachers present, please get in touch with us. Any questions, any specific questions as well, which maybe we haven't answered, please get in touch with us. So if you'd like to take the last word, Roy, I will say goodbye to everybody.
Yes,
And
well, thank you,
thank
Carl.
you, Alessia. Thank you, Alessia, as well, for introducing us today.
Grazie
Yes.
mille, grazie per tutti i suggerimenti
Bye-bye.
e consigli che avete dato ai docenti connessi. Io vi ringrazio e spero di vedervi presto.
Ok, a presto. And bye bye to all the teachers. Bye bye. Have a nice evening.
Bye-bye, everybody. See you soon.
Io ne approfitto ancora per rubare un minuto ai nostri docenti per presentarvi questa nuova opportunità formativa che abbiamo progettato proprio per i docenti che adottano un corso di a scuola per l'anno scolastico 2025-2026. Si tratta di un corso online progettato insieme alla professoressa Panciroli dell'Università di Bologna e come vedete il titolo è proprio AI apprendere insieme. In questa slide abbiamo cercato un po' di riassumere quelli che sono i nuclei fondamentali di questo corso, per cui alterneremo momenti sincroni, quindi webinar di confronto periodici, sportelli online con esperti, a momenti invece asincroni in autoapprendimento, come appunto delle video lezioni o anche dei mini tutorial su degli applicativi che possono tornarvi utili nel vostro lavoro di docente. E in più abbiamo previsto anche una newsletter mensile con degli approfondimenti sul mondo dell'AI. Quindi in questa slide trovate un link che è un link attivo che vi rimanda ad una pagina dove trovate nel dettaglio tutte le informazioni che riguardano il corso e dove potete anche accedere ad un modulo per candidarvi. Infatti in questa fase stiamo ancora raccogliendo le candidature, ci vuole un attimo affinché poi l'agenzia di zona dia il via libera, insomma, confermi la vostra adozione e poi potrete avere accesso al corso. Per cui noi vi lasciamo questa slide all'interno della quale trovate il link oppure potete tranquillamente contattare la vostra agenzia di zona. Per cui vi invitiamo a consultare il nostro sito, magari alla fine di queste slide in coda. Anche lì vi lasciamo dei link che possono essere utili di rimando alle pagine per voi fondamentali e vi invitiamo a consultarli periodicamente e vi aspettiamo per i prossimi appuntamenti. Un saluto.